My name is Thomas, and this is a very special car. In fact, it can even drive itself. This is a 2019 Nissan Altima Edition 1, and in this video, we're going to be breaking down the facts, the features, going over the pros, cons, a full drive test, as well as my thoughts and opinion. Of course, if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to join our small but growing family, because once we hit 100,000 subscribers, I'm going to be shaving my lid for a kid, as well as raising some money. And of course, a huge thank you to Fish Creek Nissan here in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, for lending me this gorgeous Altima. This was in fact the last edition one they had, and just to briefly explain the stickers on the side, that wasn't up to me or the dealership. This car was actually at the 2019 BMO International Auto Show, and this was there to show off the new Altima. For those of you that don't know, the Altima is right in between the Sentra and the Maxima when it comes to Nissan's food chain of gasoline-powered cars. It is the happy medium right in between the budget Sentra and the four-door sports car Maxima. But just before I explain why the 2019 is better than the 2020, I need to clear up and prevent confusion by explaining differences between the US and Canadian models. To make this simple, in the US, you guys get the S model, the SR, SR VC Turbo, SV, SL, Platinum, and last but not least, the Platinum VC Turbo. And in 2020, it starts at 24 grand and can go up as high as 35 grand in US dollars. And here in Canada, we get the S, the SV, and the Platinum. Those ranging from 28 grand also to 35 grand, but in Canadian dollars. And in the States, you guys can purchase the Altima with a 2-liter variable compression turbocharged engine that puts out 248 horsepower and 273 pound-foot of torque. But if you don't use 93 octane fuel, you're going to be losing some of that power. The variable compression on this engine allows it to go from a 14:1 to 8:1 compression ratio to maximize power and fuel economy. It's the first major powertrain update for the Altima in quite a while, and the new VCT engine will replace the old V6 that used to be an option with the Altima. One of the last differences with the US model than the Canadian model is you guys get the front-wheel drive version as well as the intelligent all-wheel drive version, whereas here in Canada, we get no front-wheel drive. It's only all-wheel drive, which I guess is a win. But on the negative side of things, here in Canada, we only get this 2.5-liter inline-4 engine, and that has been the staple of the Altima for quite a long time now. Over the years, this engine has only had minor upgrades and is the cheaper option for you guys in the States as well, but believe it or not, this actually gets 35 miles per gallon combined fuel economy, so it actually gets better fuel economy than the brand new VCT engine. And last but not least, this one gets 182 horsepower and 178 pound-foot of torque. And all of that is coming just from a DIG engine, DIG of course standing for direct injection gasoline. But that's not all. This is called the Edition 1, and if you recall, I never mentioned the Edition 1 when it came to the trim levels for the 2020 Altima in both Canada and the States. So what is the Edition 1 and why is it so cool? Well, if you think about companies like Jag, what they do is when they have a new model that comes out or they redesign a car, they'll have a Model 1 or an Edition 1 very similar to this car to promote sales in the first year, to kind of get more off the line and have something cool for the people that buy it as an option in that first year. And Nissan wanted in, so in 2019 when they redesigned the Altima, they did this, which is called the Edition 1, and I think it's very cool. So what's so special about it? Well, the Edition 1 for $1,000 more than the Platinum comes with a handful of extra features. To start off with, it comes with the Edition 1 badging, and with a name like Edition 1, I would want to show that off as well. There are also Edition 1 carpeted formats, just in case you didn't see the Edition 1 badging on the outside and happen to forget the name of your car. Of course, it comes with a rear spoiler, and these very cool, unique to this model, 19-inch dark gray aluminum alloy rims. There are also the illuminated kick plates, and last but certainly not least, because this is by far my favorite, the external ground lighting. And believe it or not, they only made 3,900 of the Edition 1 Altimas, which doesn't necessarily make it a rare car, but it's also by no means a common car. This is very special, and I really like the Edition 1. But on top of that, it comes loaded with plenty other bells and whistles. For example, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto that utilizes your phone via Bluetooth, as well as 2 types of USB, USB-A and USB Type-C. Of course, USB Type-C being the newer version of USB connectivity, and this is one of the first vehicles that Nissan has put it into. And from there, it plays your music through a 9-speaker premium Bose audio system. Some of the other features include a moonroof, leather heated seats and a leather heated steering wheel, remote start with a push start button and keyless entry, a reversing camera with reversing sensors, automatic lights as well as automatic high beams, blind spot monitors, this gorgeous wood tone trim, automatic temperature control, LED lights including LED fog lights, and of course this vehicle utilizes Nissan's Xtronic C CVT, which stands for Continuously Variable Transmission. All of those come alongside with the expected features like steering wheel buttons, traction control, power seats, and the list goes on. But most importantly, this vehicle has Nissan's ProPilot Assist, which only 3 vehicles currently have: the Altima, the Qashqai, and the Rogue. This is a semi-autonomous driving system that essentially does most of the work for you, and you just have to have your hands on the steering wheel. If you want to know more about ProPilot Assist, there's a lot that goes into it, and I made a full video explaining everything you need to know about it that I'll link down below underneath the like button. But the one thing I didn't cover in the ProPilot Assist video is this function that I'm going to call virtual rumble strips. Essentially, even when you're driving in a normal mode, if the Altima feels that you're swerving over to the side of the road and you're going over a line, the steering wheel will start to rumble and simulate going over rumble strips. What about the pros? What has Nissan done right with the Altima? Well, quite a lot. There's a lot going for this car, from the options to the technology, enough room for 5 adults, plenty of cargo space, it's great on fuel. You can tell that Nissan wanted to give their competitors a run for their money when it came to this redesign. And most importantly, it's enjoyable to drive, and at least in the front seat, I have ample of room. Talking about the front seat, but what about the negatives, the cons of the Altima? What's wrong with this car? Why wouldn't you buy one of these? Well, over the competition, there really isn't much. I don't know why you wouldn't buy an Altima if this is the sort of car that you're going after. At the end of the day, there isn't very much power, and I'm not going to waste my breath talking about the sport mode button. I feel as if it does barely anything. It just makes the engine start to scream at you as nothing really actually changes. But then again, if you wanted more power, you can just go with the V6 that's inside of the Maxima, and that would be a better option for you. And on a similar note, if you have problems getting in and out of cars, the Altima and no other sedan like it is going to be the option for you. After 1 week of driving this vehicle, the only real annoyances that I found was occasionally the iPod doesn't connect straight away and you have to unplug and plug in the USB a couple of times, and also the automatic high beams are very, very sensitive and sometimes will turn my high beams off without me wanting them off. And if I'm being super picky, the visibility out of the rear view mirror isn't that good, as well as the heated leather steering wheel and the heated leather seats don't heat up as fast as I would like them to, and when they do heat up, they get incredibly hot, especially certain areas on the steering wheel that just about burn your damn hands off. So how does it drive? When you take it out on the road, as a daily driver, as a road trip vehicle, how does the Altima stand up? Everything with the Altima was designed to be comfortable and smooth. From the braking, to the steering, to the acceleration, everything is gradual and very easy. Bumps are absorbed well by the Altima's independent suspension, and of course, because this is a low-down sedan, as you'd expect, there is very little wind noise and it handles very well around corners. All around, I think the Altima is a fantastic daily driver, and at least sitting in the front of this vehicle, I think it would do fine for road trips as well. Nissan has definitely achieved their goal of creating a comfortable, smooth, and effortless driving experience, especially when you turn on ProPilot Assist. In conclusion, what are the final thoughts and notes for the 2019 Nissan Altima Edition 1? Well, personally, I really like this car, and I think that Nissan has gone the extra mile when they were redesigning this car for the new generation. Everything from the sleek design to the aesthetic and satisfying temperature control knobs. Personally, after driving the Maxima and driving the Altima and everything around it and in between, my conclusion is that the Altima is a fantastic car. The only thing it's missing is satisfying the 22-year-old me who's full of testosterone and just wants to go fast everywhere. Not that I do that. So if that's what you're looking for, then maybe the Maxima is the alternative car for you, because this is a fantastic vehicle. It's just missing that power. But if that doesn't bother you, then this is the 5-seater sedan for you. Make your way over to a dealership, go for a little cruise, a test drive, have some fun, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And obviously, if you can get your hands on an Edition 1, that's what this whole video is about. That's why I wanted to get my hands on this, is because I don't know of too many other cars that come with external ground lighting from the factory. But that's it. That's everything that you need to know about this 2019 Nissan Altima Edition 1. If you enjoy what I do here on this channel and you liked this video, feel free to drop a like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any of the future videos. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.